All right, we're going to continue. We now have been joined by Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3 Dow Chevrolet, and we will start by taking questions for Austin, and we'll start with Jacob.
Jacob Seelman, Speed Sport. You had an interesting moment at the end of that practice, and Martin was just in here and talked about how, we're starting to see what happens when you find the edge and go over the edge on this course. Talk about that backstretch chicane and kind of what the challenges have been there, and then what you experienced the lap where you clipped the tire pack.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to hit every corner before the race starts here. I've got 2 or 3 of them out, but there's a couple left. We've learned a lot in a short period of time. I've gotten more comfortable. I keep getting more comfortable out there, and that's where that confidence grows, and then you get to step over the edge, and you touch the tire barrier. That's kind of where it came to. But guys are working hard to get the car back together right now, and it's funny because there's some corners that you can make speed in, and it's probably not going to correlate to the race. So I just got to be smarter than that when I get in the race, and really take my time and be smart, because it's not even. I mean, it's not really about the race as much as survival is what I've seen right now. There's going to be someone really fast, but if somebody spins, there's like nowhere to go. I've seen a couple cars out there. 17 was spun, and my spotter couldn't see him off there, and got lucky that I didn't take him back out. But there's not a whole lot of room out there to go anywhere if you have a problem. But everybody's going to fight the same thing, so just trying to make it through this. Yes, it's getting repaired right now. There's mostly just fender damage, body. She's going to have a couple patches, but she'll be ready to race.
All right, Bob.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Are you worried about this race as a cutoff race? I mean, are you walking on eggshells the next 2 days, or is there any part of you looking forward to it?
I think I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen when we get in this thing, and I can't be upset of the reason we're here and not at the regular oval that we're usually at this time of year, where I feel really confident in. I just feel like it's another challenge along the way that it's an obstacle you got to get over and get through, and hopefully me and my guys can be smart and survive it and make it to the next round. That's the plan. So eggshells is one thing. I haven't obviously walked on eggshells the first practice. I blew through them. So maybe I'll save some for the race.
All right, Steve, the blue.
Steve Schweitzer, the Lasco Press. Austin, in your opinion, where are the best places to pass on the track?
I haven't seen a great place to pass, truthfully. A place that that's the spot. There are places, but every place there's like a momentum problem. You can outbrake people, but coming out the other side is like you're always in this like momentum section of the track. If I had a pinpoint accuracy place that I would just say, and I'd like to try and pass in turn 1, but it's pretty tight off of there. If you can get under, but I have been getting good runs to the start finish line. My car seems pretty good there, so you're gonna have to set someone up off of 8 too. But getting into the chicane, there's not gonna be 2 cars go through there ever. So you better get them before you get to the other side of that. But I don't know, the chicane, the front stretch, you might be okay off of turn 4, coming off the big track into. Let's see here, 15. So 15 and 8 can probably be a place. I actually have a weird feeling that because 6 is so slow and you have to hug that inside wall, that someone might like squirt that corner and just say, screw it, I'm not going to try and set it up and get to the outside of you, and then you're done for 7 and 8 because you're on the outside and they can't cut back left below you. So I have this weird feeling that 6 where it's blind, that people might just try and roll speed there, stay in a push and get to the outside of you, and it'll mess you up for the next 2 corners.
Okay, so you said the chicane on the backstretch is impossible to pass there. Is there anywhere else on the track where it would just be foolish to even try?
It'll be done Sunday. I don't know. it'll be tried.
All right, let's see. Dustin?
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. 2 questions is, one, how much of a difference do you feel you make as a driver at this track compared to if you were running on the 1.5 miles? And the second is just how hard of a hit was that on the tire barrier? I mean, and you knew you were going to hit it, but was it surprising that it didn't give way, or did anything about that contact surprise you?
It was actually pretty, for me as a driver, I blew right through it. It was kind of light. I didn't feel anything through the steering wheel. It was mostly all body. When I landed on the other side, the fender was up in there, and I was like, dang it. I knew I killed the left front. So if it was the simulator, you just kind of go through it and you get to keep going. Not here. Oh yeah. Sorry, that was the first part of the question. Sorry. I feel like you can make a big difference as a driver here, obviously. But just as much as the driver can make a difference, if he gets to a certain point, drivability-wise, the car still has to be able to react to the driving style that you need to have here. I feel like we put a lot of time on the simulator, and we found places that you can make speed, but it needs to correlate pretty properly to what we've brought here setup-wise to be able to do that. I'm pretty tight everywhere right now, but we also, our plan going in, we changed it pretty quick. We were going to make a qualifying run. We stayed in race trim the whole time, and we had too much nose weight in the car, so I was pretty tight the whole time. So it'll be interesting to take when we'll go qualify with tape on the nose, should get some of that turn back. And but yeah, the driver ability at a road course is pretty important, I think. But I think it's important everywhere. I think driver ability is 60 or 70% of everything. Same. I think that 60% travels to every track we go to, because in the end, he's the guy that's behind the sticks to make it happen.
Brennan?
Yeah, Austin, Brennan Marks from the Charlotte Observer. Would you say that backstretch chicane is the toughest part of the track, or is there something else that's comparable to it?
Actually, that's probably one of the more simple parts of the track. It's if you want to, it's a place where you can really screw up if you take it the proper way, because no one's going to pass you getting in there unless they just get this heck of a run off of 8. If you're smart about it, it's not a hard corner. It's just if you're trying to find lap time speed, you're going to try and get a little too much, and you do what I did. The trickiest part is probably 6, 7, and 8. Flowing that. You're downhill, you can't see, you come up the hill, you want to carry more throttle. It's so easy to push your front tires, my car, too hard, and you can push all the way out to the outside wall on the main track to 1. So being patient is very hard through 6, 7, and 8. I would say that's probably the toughest. And then some of the right-handers that we're not used to turning. I mean, the good guys that are comfortable going right, you got Allmendinger and Cindric and these guys that have 14 million more road course laps than I do. They're comfortable turning to the right, and I'm still trying to find that edge, or if we went to an oval track, I'm going to be way more comfortable turning left than they are most of the time.
Any final questions? Okay, we'll go Matt, Jacob, and Steven.
Matt Weaver, Auto Week. Has Justin told you to hit the pace car yet?
No, he has not, luckily, and hopefully I do get to the pace car, because that means I'm in the front of the pack at some point.
Well said. A question about Hot Wheels. This is the 50th anniversary of Hot Wheels. Did you ever have Hot Wheels growing up as a kid? Did you have a favorite?
Yes, I had some Hot Wheels growing up. Favorite, I wouldn't know it. There's not names for them, are there?
I have no
I
idea.
could describe the one. I like the one with the purple hearse-looking car with the front wheels. I always thought it was pretty cool.
Also, this is the 25th anniversary of the NASCAR Racing Papyrus PC games. Is that something you ever did when you were a kid?
I did not. I think I was still on the younger side of that game. Nintendo came out with some Game Boys at that period of time when I was pretty popular. I don't think I ever got to do that game.
All right, Jacob?
Austin, your teammate, Daniel Hemrick, was 4th quickest in Cup practice and has really been impressive in adapting from the Xfinity car to the Cup car. What have you seen in him in the times you've been able to race against him this year, and what's impressed you when it comes to him?
Oh, he's a solid race car driver. You know, I said it a long time ago. We grew up racing Bandoleros and Legends cars, and always felt like he's had great ability in a race car, and kept a friendship with him since I was a kid. You know, we used to have sleepovers at my house, hang out. So he's a great kid, great guy. Excuse me. He's a grown man. He's married. Can't say kid. But he's fun to race around. He's good. He made a heck of a qualifying lap right there, and we've been working together on the simulator some. So I wish I was in the Xfinity race because you get more laps out there right now. I think it'd be an advantage if you could get an Xfinity car just to get more laps, but because we're full-time Cup, it's a little tougher. But that's it. He's doing a good job.
All right, Steven.
Steve Conley, podiumfinish.net. Austin, how is the transition from the infield portion of the road course up onto the banking? And will you see it more beneficial to stay down towards the apron lower or go straight up to the wall as you're coming out of that section?
I don't really know. I mean, it's kind of what your car will allow you to do. I think if you can be lower is always better coming out of that section. But if you're in a push, you can't really get there, so you got to momentum it somehow. Just depending on what your car will allow you to do, I think is really key.
All right, Austin. Thank you for your time. We
Thank you,
appreciate you
guys.
spending some time with us this weekend.